I think really I'm really very pleased to have the opportunity here tonight to share with you some of my very, very exciting experiences over the last 2 years. So the talk today I have tonight is making sense of biosignals, particularly how a better understanding of ourselves can benefit life. So first of all, I guess this one I'm going to skip because the party already talked a lot. I'll just say it shortly is that I spent 30 years in the integrated circuits or chip business. Okay? And so I has always been a technology geek. Okay? Now I'm not a technology geek anymore, but I'm still a geek. I'm a geek, a passionate geek, I'm a curious geek. I'm a geek trying to understand myself. So I label myself now as a self-explorer. Hopefully after today's talk, I hope I can enlist a lot many more self-explorers. And my story to share tonight, really is very simple. I think earlier we look at here the sort of presentation on listening to nature. Okay? And life is a miracle, right? We human beings are also miracles. The brain, the human brain, is one of the most fascinating and most complex things in this world. I spend a lot of time studying and understanding. I think the conclusion I have shared with you, you can find out for yourself. How life really works and how our brain really works, nobody knows. I think even science today, it may take many decades for us to really understand what does really work. Now, on the other hand, let's not worry about it. The one thing we find out is that if we observe and learn and understand the messages sent from our body, from our mind, okay, we can really understand not exactly how things work, but what our body, our mind are really telling us. I mean, what's really happening inside us. If we have the proper tool to help us to see that. So this is the new direction, I think, that can really drive the new frontier of the science and the technology. And that's really potentially can be the next revolution, how we learn, observe, understand ourselves, and thereby impact ourselves, our environment, whole humanity. Okay? And most importantly, my own experience, which I'm going to share with you, quite a few examples, why those biosignals can tell us meaningful and beneficial things that we can relate to our life. So what I did is very simple. As a typical technology geek, I just buy all the sensors, all the things I can lay my hands on, put it on my body everywhere, try to have a normal life, and then try to see what they tell us. Okay? And I guess it's that, like most engineer, I'm not happy with any of them. They are tall on promises and very short on content and capabilities. So as a true engineer, so we just say that, well, we're going to build a truly capable biosensor that can really capture a lot of different messages my body, my mind is telling me. And of course, once we have that, satisfy my own curiosity, and the question is that, well, why don't we share it with everyone, whoever that might have similar interests? Okay. So that's my story. Okay. And the sensor itself, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's just something very small, and the world's smallest wearable biosensor, only about 3 grams. So lightweight, you can basically put it anywhere. Depending on where you put on it, you can measure different kinds of biosignals. Okay. Now here, I'm a sort of a TED fan, so I'm going to quote one of the great educator, the TED is Sir Ken Robinson. I think he kept emphasizing, I think not too long ago, one of his very, very inspiring talk, talking about the 3 basic principles for education or for talents to flourish, namely diversity, curiosity, and creativity. I quote this because I find it very, very relevant here. When we're listening to nature, when we're listening to ourselves, we're part of nature. That the humankind, okay, we have a lot of diversity. If we have a curiosity to understand ourselves, that creates the opportunity for lots of creativity that can build, we can all together build greater goods. And not to mention that, even though I guess most of the audience here are pretty young, and not quite a lot of the next generations you are talking around, but I think that this talk is really about education. And the education is really about, not just about ourselves, it's about our next generation. How do we get them interested to learn, observe, understand themselves better, knowing how special they are, how different they are, and what they can do with that knowledge. So that's the message I want all of you to take home. Okay. Now, at this point, so many of you, because maybe I'm asked, how many of you routinely measure your brain weight and feel that whatever tool you're using is just not very good? I guess not, okay? So this is a new topic, new direction, okay? So why it matters? Okay? First of all, because all of us want to have a healthy life, and a healthy body, healthy mind, and the healthy well-being, okay? And that's the reason why. And to help us, to achieve a better quality of life, both the physical life, mental life, and the well-being, happiness, okay, is what the biosignals can help us to tap into, to understand, to know better, okay? So I'm going to, in the next, I'm going to show many examples, very simple example. Don't get intimidated if you haven't seen some of the charts and things that look strange before. I just want you today to take home the message that they are really not difficult. It's very easy to see that if you have suitable tools. I think that I'm also grateful for the listening to nature. You talk about a lot of spectrogram, because I'm going to show you a lot of spectrogram. But you already know what a spectrogram is, okay? Okay, so let's start first, the posture, activity. For good health, we all know that we need to have a good posture, and we need to have an adequate, reasonable activity, walking around, standing up, sitting down all night, not bending down, so kind of watching your tiny smartphone for the extended period of time, right? That's really bad for your health. You already know that, but no one to remind you, okay? And the tool is actually pretty simple. There's a simple accelerometer we call the G sensors. And I just want you to look at the leftmost one. And this one is a simple exercise. You lower your hand up, go sideways. And the simple sensor, if you wear it on the right place, and where is the right place? On your head, it's a very good place. On your trunk, it's a very good place. And most people like to wear it on the wrist, right? I have friends who's competing with other friends, so he's doing this all the time, right? I'm exercising a lot today. I'm going to beat my friend, okay? So anyway, okay, I guess that's called cheating. And another example, looking to the right, this is during the night, okay? The circle, the yellow circle, is the head horizontal position. In the center is when the head is in the upright position. So all of us, when we sleep, we sort of kind of toss around, right? Your body doesn't want the circulation to get cut off. So after a while, your body will automatically rotate. And see how your posture change overnight and over day. When you walk, when you run, just over day, here this is bad because the head is down all So, a very simple tool that can help us understand how our physical posture and how much our physical activity can do. And give us a feedback if we want to adjust it, if we want to improve it, we have a mechanism to do that. The next example is just very simple muscles. We have lots of muscle on our body, and on the trunk and our head. So the muscle has sort of two significance here. And since we're talking about the brainwave here today mostly, so one of the things I just want to highlight, the muscle signal is sometimes difficult to be separated from the true brainwave signal, particularly if the sensors are designed for games or toys, and they don't have enough capability to isolate them. So a lot of people play brainwave control game. I don't know how many you play. And most of those things you're actually using your muscle to control it. You're not really using brain. Occasionally you're using brain, but most of the time you just train your muscle to do that. Okay, but that's okay. Since nobody knows brainwave, nobody knows that. Okay. And now one of the things to say is very, very important is that we all know that our body, our mind are really tightly connected. Whenever our mind is in stress, our muscle, our body tends to be in stress. Okay? So muscle, monitoring muscle, is actually very important, useful first sign of what your body is telling you, even though not quite yet what your mind is telling you. Okay? And the ability to look at how your muscle behave, to give ourselves awareness. Now here I'm just to show that this is a typical waveform. This is actually when you bend down on knee and doing some kind of horse stand. Okay, you can stress your muscle. So very simple, easy experiment. You can see the initial explosive. Wow, I'm full of power. And after a few minutes, so 3 minutes, so it's not that easy. Okay, I kind of getting tired and tired. My muscle getting weaker and weaker. So I'm going to decide I'm going to rest a little bit, and then I'm going to try it again. Look at that. The initial power is already less. And then I get fatigued very quickly. So a simple tool, you can stick on any of the muscles. If you are an athlete, if you're a sports fan, if you just want to train yourself, you can stick it. It tell you your muscles capability, explosiveness, and it can tell you how much endurance, how much you get fatigue. If you really get exhausted, the next day, it can tell you that whether you have recovered or not. It helps you to prevent injury. Okay? And now, if you look at on the right-hand side, now this is famous, remember this one. This is spectrogram. When the vertical is changing, converting to the frequency spectrum versus time. And the muscle signal, the key features is that it's a very, very broadband. It covers all the frequency, typical brainwave. That's why the muscle signal a lot of times is difficult to be differentiated from the brainwave. Okay. So I'm just leading into stress. Why stress is important? The stress relief or the relaxation. And I think this is just about the only thing in the medical community everybody agree on. Stress is bad. Relaxation is good. Okay? And the question is, how can we help ourselves? Again, with a simple tool, it's actually pretty simple. The first rule is to say, remember, if your mind is stressed, your muscle is stressed. In our head, we have lots and lots of muscles. You probably hear about this things called body language, and or your subtle things. Whatever your mind is thinking, whatever you say, your muscle may betray you because they get control directly from your subconscious rather than your conscious lies. Okay, so you may be saying one thing, but your muscle will be saying something different. With a simple sensor, you can see all that. Okay, and now here, I'm just going to show you that because remember the muscle signal is a very broadband. So you relax the muscle first, and then you relax your mind. Here I got to apologize, but don't get hung up on the spectrogram. Basically, mental activity is roughly about here. And if you have muscle activity, that's all of that. So if you see this box, if you have this little toy to play with yourself, if you can get it to be all empty. Now, you are not in stress. Okay? If not, then try harder. Now the next one, what's really going on? And now this topic is a little bit more controversial, which I think is a lot of fun. Okay? And it's really about our focus and attention, right? And you probably see some people who are going to try to sell the gadget, saying that you can measure your focus, you can train your focus, you can train your attention. That's good. Okay? So I'd like to share with you, first of all, I don't know whether it's good or not. It depends on the context. Okay? I'll explain that a little bit later. But the most important thing is that most of your or our mind, attention, is not controlled by me. Not by me in the conscious level. Most of the decision, that's why this is a very, very fun experiment. Most of the decision that our brain decide what's interesting, what's not interesting, is controlled by our subconscious. Okay? So here I show two examples, two video clips. Clip A, clip B. You can see how much attention I have during the clip B, and almost none during clip A. Okay, now this one just to share with you. This particular one is a fun one. You probably hear that our brain, our subconscious, has extraordinary capability to distinguish between what's real from what's fake. Okay. On the left-hand side, the video clip A happens to be extremely sophisticated, gruesome, violent video game called Metal Gear Solid. I don't know, some of you might have heard that, right? Incredibly violent, lots of blood, you kill a lot of stuff. But look at my brain. Nothing. Why? Because my brain knows animation is not real. It does not get engaged. Okay? Now the right-hand side, this is my favorite show, Star Trek. Okay? Played by a real person. Stories are totally fictitious. Same sci-fi here, animated character, real person. Because of my brain automatically lock on to the real person, try to decipher the subconscious, the body language, all the certain cues. That over nearly years evolution, my brain knows that's very, very important to understand my fellow human beings, what they're feeling, what they're trying to do, because that's important to my survival. So anyway, I'm just going to tease you. Just a simple example. Okay, most of us cannot control what's interesting to us. Now, you can turn the table around. If you're open-minded, you can use this exercise to determine what really interests you. Interest meaning desires, fears, things that create internal conflict. Okay, and that tends to show up. So, and another thing is that, so who decides on our focus and intention? I'm just saying that most likely not you. Okay, but if you want to understand yourself, what is your hidden motive? What is your hidden desire? What's your hidden fears? This is a great tool to help you uncover that. So going back, is attention good? Is the focus good? Not necessarily. Okay, it depends. Okay, depends on the context. Okay, so the next example I'm going to show is the sleep. Okay, and again, the key message is that the sleep, there's nothing magical about it. It's very simple. If you have a tool, if you can visualize it, you know exactly how your sleep works. Here, I'm just saying on the orange box, I highlight this is the only important signature in sleep. It's what we call sleep spindles, or the sigma wave. Okay, it's a unique wave happen during sleep. And everyone, frequency is slightly different, but it's all happen around here. So if you just look at the span, so I just label as a spindle or the sleep. I'm sleeping, and then in between is REM, sleeping, REM, sleeping, REM, sleeping, REM. Everybody yourself. Okay? And I used to believe that I don't sleep well, because I always remember when I'm awake. Okay, now obviously I don't remember when I'm asleep, once I start doing measurement, then I realize, gee, I really sleep like a baby. Every time when I lay down, within 5 minutes, I'm gone. But if I wake up once or twice in the middle of the night, I remember I was awake in the beginning, then I was awake in the middle of the night. Gee, I didn't sleep well. Okay? So, again, another example of how our human mind, our conscious, is tricking us all the time. Okay? Now, I think that the body mentioned about meditation. Okay? Meditation is really extension of a relaxation. So, again, I just want to show that it's really easy to learn whatever your own meditation patterns. Okay? And I just happens to here show two examples. One's more typical alpha wave, one's a typical delta wave, and coming through. And the key thing is that you have to be able to go into the relaxed state. Otherwise, you have no meditation. And oftentimes, if your body is tired, you fall asleep, don't worry. If your body falls asleep, that means your body needs the sleep. It doesn't need the meditation at that time. Okay? If you always sleep during meditation, then you have to go back and revisit your sleep patterns. Okay? And okay, everyone's the same, and everyone's slightly different. Okay? Now this one is technically not quite a brainwave, but I want to kind of tie that in a little bit, because it's that everybody knows maybe we can control our brainwave, even though earlier I tried to demonstrate not quite so. And we can control our breathing, but few people think that we can conscientiously control our heartbeat. Okay? And I just want to show you that it's not only possible, it's actually quite easy if we have the tool and to help us visualize and try practices. Okay? And here it's called the heart-brain coherence, meaning that heartbeat is one of the involuntary system, meaning that you just run by itself. If you get excited, the heartbeat will go up. Okay, you cannot control it, you cannot hide it. If somebody really interesting walk by, your heartbeat jump up. And if somebody else measure, your measuring broadcast, everybody know that. Okay, but if you say that, stop, it won't. Okay, now unless you do this exercise. Okay, now but this is very simple. Is that our body has internal rhythm. Our body, the involuntary system, you try to do its own. Now, we all know that the breathing can help control, help us calm down, relax. Okay, it's a very simple principle. However, how do we know that our deep breathing is in synchronous with our internal rhythm, or is it actually fighting against our internal rhythm? Okay, and that's really what this example shows. That if you know how to look at your internal rhythm, rather than fighting it, you go into the same direction, you can very quickly build up the resonance between your brain, means conscientious effort, to your heart, which means involuntary, unconscious activity. And in this example, I apologize, you really don't know what this means. This is a heart rate change. But you can just say during the normal heart rate change is not a lot. And then during this coherence exercise, within just a few minutes, the heart rate variation is spent by more than 3-4 times the normal. In medical terms, this is the only thing you need to know. The greater the heart rate variation, the healthier you are. Okay, so essentially what you're doing is that through this exercise, you're massaging your heart. You're massaging your heart to make its heartbeat variation go very low, go very high, go very low, get very high. And at the same time, establish a very slow and deep breathing without effort, because it's natural. It's in tune with yourself. Okay? So, I showed quite a few examples why the simple biosignal, easy to measure, convey a lot of messages for our own body, our own mind. They try to tell us something, but we're not listening. And we don't know how to listen. We don't know how to get a message. And that's why the tool, we think that's get very, very excited. The simple tool can actually get us to see the messages from our body, from our mind. Okay? So, what I have learned, curiosity, we have to have a curiosity for things we don't know yet. And we have open mind, we try to learn everything we can. And just make sure, be skeptical. Don't believe everything you read. Okay? And then know that myself and everyone in this room is unique. That's diversity. Humans are diverse. Everyone sort of the same, but then very different. Find your own pattern, or find out what's unique in you. Okay? And if we spend a little bit of effort, try to observe, learn, and understand ourselves, okay? We can generate a lot of creativity and how to turn those knowledge into help improve our own quality of life. So that's why I may say at the beginning, the take-home message is that these signals are very meaningful and they can be very beneficial to help our own quality of life and the people we love. So what's next? We have spent quite a bit of time developing the device, the tool. The exploration kit is now available. Earlier we mentioned that we actually bought a few samples here. You can sort of take a look. We have some brochure here. And currently we're working on education kit. And easier to use for high school students, college students, so they can learn about themselves. And we're working on the relaxation and the focus application also. But the most important thing is not all those individual things that we're going to create. It's the vision. Our vision is that we want to have an affordable tool for all. And we basically create this device to share with everyone on the pretty much a not-for-profit basis. And we just really think that this is very important. Technology allows us the opportunity to look into ourselves. And we'd like to make the opportunity available to as many people as possible. And if you're interested, just like a TED, ideas worth spreading. Okay. Thank you very much.